Hi, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's roundtable discussion. I'm joined with safety Ron Rice, offensive lineman Barry Stokes, defensive lineman Kelvin Pritchett. And gentlemen, I'd like to welcome all you to the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's good.
Glad to be here.
That's good. Well, we'll talk about one of our favorite coaches of all time. We all played with him, Wayne Fontes.
The big buck.
The big buck. What are your memories of Wayne Fontes?
Well, Wayne, I thought he was the ultimate players coach. You know, he was the type of guy that really looked after the players. If you had an issue, I don't care what it was. If it was personal, you know, talking about your girlfriend or whatever, you could talk to Wayne about anything, and he really took care of us.
I remember Wayne very well, and I like Wayne too. He was a players coach, as you said, and he treated the players accordingly. Herman was our superstar.
Right.
Barry was our superstar, and they deserved special treatment, and Wayne gave them special treatment.
I didn't get that special treatment
yes,
that Barry got. Come on
But you
now.
got some special treatment.
I appreciate that accolade, but you put me on a whole different level.
Herman was our superstar.
Yeah.
And Wayne treated them well. Lower range players probably weren't on the same line, but I understand it. If you work at Ford and you sell the most cars, you get the special treatment. And I believe that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be on the even keel. People say it should, but I don't believe so.
The coaches I've been with, I think Wayne is the most relaxed coach that I played for. And the biggest thing about him was that he let the coaches do the coaching. And he was like the ultimate supervisor. And that's what I respected about him, because he believed in his coaches, and you could feel that, and he believed in his players. So I think that what made him a little bit more special than other coaches that I've been with.
Could that be a detriment to Wayne? Because at one point he received a lot of criticism for not changing coaches that weren't quite doing the job at one point.
Well, at a certain point, I think that if the players aren't leading that he had when he began being a Lions coach, and then it sort of transitioned a little bit, the leadership sort of maybe fell off a little bit in some areas, I think that's maybe more what hurt him more than his coaching style.
Well, yeah, he did. He got criticized big time. You know, his brother Johnny,
Exactly.
who was my coach in the secondary. You know, a lot of people felt like Johnny wasn't qualified for that position, along with other coaches like Howard Tippett.
Right.
You know, and those guys that were there. You know, obviously they treated us well, but when it came down to the X's and O's of the whole thing, I thought they were competent, but somebody's got to be held accountable. I thought Wayne did a good job of overseeing everything,
Right.
but some of his assistants were in question in terms of, you know, probably more on the outside than on the inside, but in terms of the job that they got, the job that they did and how competent they were.
I thought he more or less showed the same commitment that he did with his players to his coaches. I mean, he just was committed to his staff, and I think there was a respect that was gained not only from his coaches, but from the players. I mean, we were like a big family. You know, we all argued like anyone else, and they argued like brothers and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think the respect that he got from that, he got the players to play for him and play for one another. And that's something that I think in today's game is hard to sometimes see. You see it with some teams, but I don't think you see it the same way when you talk about how teams bond like you saw in that day and time.
Let us remember that during the 90s, the Lions were one of the winningest teams in the NFL. You know, since that point, we haven't been the same, but as I remember, we didn't go 2 years without making the playoffs. So if we missed the playoffs 1 year, the following year, we made the playoffs. And as Herman can remember, back in '91, we was one game away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, oh man, this is easy. I mean, we beat the Washington Redskins and the Lions in the Super Bowl. And since then, things have been different.
Well, I mean, 91, fast forward to 95, and when we got really hot.
Right.
And I think we won like 6 in a row.
6 or 7 games.
6 or 7 games in a row, going to the playoffs. Obviously, we fizzled in Philadelphia.
Right.
But that offense that we had under Wayne, you know, with you guys, I mean, you guys were lighting it up on, you know, defensively, we had some players out there, right. You know, we were all there. And it created a whole atmosphere here in Detroit that probably, I mean, obviously we haven't seen it then, but then 96, we're down. 97, we're back up.
Right.
You know, we were off and on, and we're still looking for that leader in the locker room so we can have that consistency and have the program that I think everybody deserves.
But see, that's what I mean about the fans. They don't appreciate that one down year And then we backed up. That's what I'm saying. During those 90s, it wasn't like 3 years we just weren't in the playoffs. Every other year was a playoff team, or even in, I think it was 99, 2000, we were one kick away from, I think we lost to Chicago or something.
Chicago, right.
One kick away from being in the playoffs again, and after that particular point, that whole debacle changed, and we just went down here from there.
Well, I think we all understand that a winning season, you didn't do anything wrong. A losing season, you did everything wrong.
Right.
And so I think that gets amplified a little bit too much in the personality, because you can have so many plays that can make a huge difference in the game.
Exactly.
I mean, what have you been told your whole career? 4 plays make a difference in the game.
Right.
And that's very minute. And so if you can just change them 4 plays, a lot of people think that, you got a whole different team.
Let me ask you one last question. This is just real quick. Now, how do you think the staff that Wayne had during that time would work with players today? You think they could handle the players of today? That staff that we had back in that era could handle the players of today? Just real quick.
I'm not sure, and this is why I say that, because the locker room was different. So a lot of the issues that we had internally, we dealt with those ourselves.
Right.
It seems like the players now in the NFL, they're so fragmented and sheltered, and they're not together. We had more of a cohesive locker room. I mean, we would hang out together.
Right.
We would do a lot of things, on road trips, go to dinner together,
right,
and things like that. We had more team activities. And I don't know this for sure, but I don't see it. I don't hear of it.
Well, I can understand that, but the media outlet now is different. I mean, you got guys telling on other guys, trying to be anonymous. Sue's not a good player, but don't tell him I said it. Say somebody else said it.
You definitely want to have guys biting their tongue. Yeah.
Right. So, you got Twitter now and Facebook, so the outlet's a little bit different. The players express themselves a little bit different. So I think that's the biggest change overall.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this week's section of Roundtable, and look forward to talking to you again.